Hey everybody, welcome back to Live Between Paychecks Kitchen. I'm Oz. Jack and Lady are still down at Lake Jackson and hanging out down there, so this was coming from my little shitty apartment galley kitchen. Ha! I don't know, it's another sandwich one. I've been doing a string of sandwiches. It's just been on my mind, man. I've been craving the carbs. I don't know if it's winter's coming or I'm trying to pack on extra pounds so I don't freeze to death. You know, Gulf Coast, Texas. But either way, it's going to be an awesome sandwich. I tried one of these up north at a sandwich shop up there, and I'm going to try to do it here with just the recipe. It's going to work out. It's going to be awesome. Before we do that, be sure to like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube-y stuff, ring the bell, get notifications when we do these Tuesdays and Fridays. And then, just if you want to feel like it, last shameless plug, we have merch, links down in the doobly-doo, and that's all I'll say about that. I'll let you guys check it out. We're a small business. We very much appreciate it. And let's get into the food. So this one's super simple, but I'm going to do it a couple ways. You're going to need some ribs, deboned ribs. You get these big ones, you get them for like $5-6, super cheap. They're ribbed, that's it, just rib meat. You're going to need some kind of bread. I prefer this long bread. You can get it at the bakery for like $1, but any kind of bread will do. You can use anything. You're going to need a little bit of olive oil, like a tablespoon or two, about half an onion or a full onion, depends on how much you do it. I'm going to do a full onion. Salt and pepper to taste, completely optional. Now everything else is just what you want to add to it. I'm going to try some of this raspberry chipotle stuff because it smells amazing. But everything else, just what you want to put it on. You want to dress it with some mustard. I expect the spicy ground stuff, some light mayo, some Texified sriracha. The Diamondback sriracha stuff is pretty good. And trust me, you want to put some dill pickles on here, some dill pickle slices. Absolutely bring it out. I don't know what's going on with my focus, so I apologize. You're going to need to get you a nice sharp knife. Shout out to Andy. I apologize for what I did to your knife. But your knife did just cut me, so I guess we're even. So, even when it's out of focus, you want to see what I'm doing here. You want to put the belly side down. You know, that tough layer on the inside there. Just go ahead and put it on the downside. And then just cut long, single strips of this. Now, remember, it's going to shrink down a little bit. It looks a little thick, right? You can cut it thinner if you want, but like I said, it's going to cut down a little bit. Also, rib meat can be kind of tough, right? So, if you get a long one here, just go ahead and cut it in half. You don't want it too long, just hanging out of your sandwiches and stuff. If you're worried that it's going to be too tough, I looked out and this one's real tender. You can hit it with some meat tenderizer the night before. Be sure these are all nice and thawed out. Now, if you got this thick belly side here, you know, this thick tendony stuff here, just go ahead and cut that out. Now, as for the fat, that's on you, but this really tough, this part here, look. It's super, like that's fat. This is that the tendon stuff, like the inside of the stomach. It's just rough, so just cut that off as best you can. Leave the fat on. Now, set that aside. Let's get our onion. Go ahead and cut either the root or I don't know what the hell the top of an onion is named or what it's called, but go ahead and cut that off and peel off all that really dry, rough skin on the outside. You do that, you don't have to worry about washing it very much, but you can still wash it anyway. Always wash your fruit and veg. Now, go ahead and cut it in half. Like I said, I'm going to use the full thing. So I'm going to do this angled cut, right? And just give it one nice slice one. Gives you that nice petals of onions. They fit really nice. They're not too thick. They're not too big. We're just going to get a mouthful of onion. But I'm going to show you. Look, see, this is flat. You take the knife, and then you just angle it as it goes across, right? So it's just always straight down onto the onion from that direction. I mean, or you just cut it straight, like you ain't got to do nothing fancy, but that's just how I do that. So get you a decent skillet. You might want to get a big one. I started with my little one, put it on medium high, and let that warm up. Get you about a tablespoon and a half of your olive oil. Put it down the bottom, and we're going to do our onions first because they take longer to cook. We're going to do a little bit of that, then put our meat in, okay? So go ahead and throw your onions in here. Now, if they come off in blocks, like I said, we didn't separate them. You can. You get your nice wooden spoon, even if it doesn't have the teeth, and they'll come apart as you push down. The closer you get to the root side, where that little nipple of root is, sometimes it won't separate. You might want to just take and cut it again, or just push it apart, or let it fan out. Either way, that'll look good on a sandwich too. So let this cook down. Don't get it to the part of browning or caramelizing yet. So give it about a minute or two when it's just starting to get shiny, just a little bit clear, and then go ahead and put your meat right on top of it. Now, once you put it in there, give it a nice stir, which, like I said, we usually do is put your meat on the metal, because you're just cooking the meat now. The onions will be good any part of this. Like, if you want them a little raw or a little crunchy, you can go ahead and pull them out, but I like cooking them with the meat in here. So, when I say put the meat on the metal, I mean stir it and put the meat on the skillet. Like, the onions around it, it'll pick up and cook in the juices and the oil. Alright? But this takes about 10-15 minutes, depending on your heat, your elevation, and the time of year, apparently, thanks to the Farmer's Almanac. But you want to see how red it is on that side and how gray it is on that side. flip it around. Don't let it just sit and cook on one side, or one side won't cook right and the other side's going to overcook. So once you start getting it here, like I said, it took about 15 minutes all total, so about halfway through that, 7 to 10 minutes, go ahead and season it. Get salt, pepper, whatever kind of seasoning you want to do. I just do a lot of pepper and a little bit of salt. Well, if I can figure out how salt grinder works, but go ahead and put a little salt and pepper in there, give it a nice stir, make sure everything gets a little bit of that flavor in there. The salt will help break it down further. Like I'll show you later, I'm able to like start cutting some of this meat with just this wooden spoon, so I didn't have to worry about the tenderizer stuff. So yeah, again, just make sure all your meat is brown on one side. You can see where it's still kind of leedy on that side, so we're going to put it back in there, stir it around a bit more. Make sure it's not frozen, or this will take forever, and your meat is a lot tougher. Let it thaw out the day before, and if you need to, hit it with some tenderizer, let it sit overnight. See, there you go. I started cutting it with my spoon, but I was going to show you my secret magic helper in the kitchen. It's all dangly. Let's get our scissors. Chop, chop, chop. So, I always need a good pair of scissors in the kitchen, man. That's how I cut pizza. I'm weird that way. So, once you get it nice and browned on all the sides, your onions are going to be nice and carameled. Go ahead and you can drain that rest of that oil out, turn your heat off, set it aside. Now, I'm just going to show you how to dress this. I mean, it's a sandwich. It's not too hard, but some people need a step-by-step, and I'm not shaming you for that at all. Everybody's got to learn somewhere. Nobody was born knowing everything, so let's just go through it. So cut your bread in half if it's not split. If you got mustard, be sure to shake it, or you're going to end up with mustard water all over your stuff, and that's always just horrible. And then just put a little mustard on here, man. Just a couple of drips, especially if you're using the spicy or the stone ground, because you don't want it to just slop out. It hits the oil, it kind of goes crazy. So get you some of your dill pickles and only put it on one side. All right, I usually put it on the bottom side of my sandwiches. I don't worry about like trying to flip it in a hurry and flinging pickles everywhere or whatever. Then get your tongs out and then put your meat. Now the best way to put meat in a bun is to take it long ways. It's harder to stack that way because it tends to hang off the sides, but if you're trying to stretch your money and make as many sandwiches as you can, that's the way to do it. Hit it with a little bit of onions straight out of the pan, block it with that bread, boom. Okay. There you go. That is your classic rib sandwich, the one I tried up north. Now here's an experimental one I'm going to try. So we cut our bread, because it wasn't pre-sliced, which is fine, because you get it from the deli like that for like $1. You know, so you get a whole bag of it. So you got to cut it yourself. A little extra work, save money. So this one I hit with the light mayo. Mayo's not for everybody, I get it, but this is just the one I wanted to do with the chipotle stuff. Chipotle raspberry stuff is sweet and kind of warm, so I wanted to kind of dull that down. Instead of using like a straight ranch, just use some light mayo. Again, put your meat on here. This one I just kind of piled up the rest of the meat because I didn't want to waste it or use it for anything else. So I just try to put as much of it on there as possible. This sandwich turned out amazing, by the way. So then get your raspberry chipotle stuff that I got like a craft store, I think, or like Walmart or something. And I put it on that mayo side. Like if you can put it on the meat, that's fine. But if you put it on that mayo side, it sticks to the bread, it doesn't come off. And again, hit it with a little bit of onion on top of it. Get that grease. It's starting to solidify over there in the other corner. Sorry, that's kind of you. But just a little bit of onion that's on there. Or a lot. It depends on your own preference. Fix it how you want to do it. If you just want to do all onion on bread, that's fine too. So just give it a little bit of that. Top it with that chipotle stuff that's on your mayo. All the chipotle stuff stuck to your mayo. And done. That one was amazing. Now, this is the one with mayo right here that you're seeing. And that turned out amazing. But if you don't have that raspberry stuff, any kind of seasoning would work. Like, hell, lemon pepper would work. Just, a regular Italian seasoning would work. But this is great. This was like right at $7, and it made 2 ginormous sandwiches for a fat guy, so it would easily make 4 for a regular sized family, right? So this was great. It's well under our budget. I wouldn't use it for food prep because of the bread, because it'll get soggy and the grease will get hard, and it's hard to keep those separate while you're working on them. But these are absolutely amazing. And there you have it, my take on a rib sandwich. That thing is amazing. I absolutely love it. If you do it differently, you want to see us do it differently, you have ideas for us to do it differently, let us know. I'll revisit this. We can do this again. It'll be awesome. It'll be your idea. Let us know. You can put it down in the comments. That's what they're there for. You can also find us on social media. You can find us at Facebook, Pinterest, Patreon. You can find us on all those at Living Between Paychecks Kitchen. You can also find us at Instagram at Living Between. You can also find us over on what's it called? TikTok. I'm old. My brain fell out. You can find us on TikTok under my name, Osway Nerdy. I've just been putting up a couple of little recipes over there, just unique to there, because it's got to be like a lot shorter. Like here we do step by step. There it's just kind of a splash page. So yeah, you can find us over there. And I will catch you guys later. I'm going to go get another rib sandwich.